Hello peeps, how's it going? Matt Sparks here. Today is Sunday again, hence the vlog thing. Just a little catch up from what I've been doing. Last time I spoke to you I believe it was Monday because Sunday was late. Well, it wasn't late, the whole day was late. You can imagine that. It's like you wake up on a Sunday morning, or you think it's a Sunday morning, and you actually find it's not Sunday morning at all. It's still Saturday because Sunday's failed to show up. It's like Saturday's having to cover part of Sunday's shift. Yeah, anyway, that's a bit random. So, yeah, sorry, I'm really tired. I was working until like 2 AM this morning, and then I had to go back into work at 11, and yeah, so my brain's and body clock is a bit screwed. I'm not sure what that's. This is going to be an interesting episode. So, what should we start with? Games that we're playing. I've been playing some XCOM and some Dust, as you may have noticed if you've been subscribed and watching what's been going on the channel. And yeah, so that was the surprise. It wasn't really much of a surprise. It was an episode of, I think it was Sundays with Sparky episode, where I asked for people if people wanted to see a specific game, and XCOM was the only one that was suggested. So I thought, well, I'll give it a go. I had it in my library already. I've never played it, so I thought I'd give it a go. So I've got like 3 episodes of that recorded, one of which has already gone up. I think 2 more. I'll probably put one up later this week, maybe tomorrow, because I haven't actually got anything else rendered yet. Yeah, I will do some more Game Dev Tycoon soon, and some more Bioshock soon. It's just finding time to do it, because I've just been working a lot over the last 4 or 5 days. So whereas normally I would record and render stuff over the weekend, I haven't been able to do that this weekend. So yeah, got to pay the bills, as they say. So that's the games. Oh, I have played a bit more Borderlands 2, although not so much. Oh, and Don't Starve, which I'm still bad at. I think the highest number of days I've survived in Sandbox was about 40. But I don't remember how I managed to do that, because every time I've tried it since, I maybe last 20 and then I die. Somehow, some way. Usually because I'm attacking something that I probably shouldn't really be attacking. But yeah, Steam Summer Sale's on, so I'm doing my usual, oh, I'll buy that because it's really cheap, and then probably never play it. Like half the games I've got in my in my Steam library. Yeah, what did I pick up? FTL, because it was like under £2, and some other things. But I'm not sure that I'll probably play FTL a little bit, but whether I'm not intending on doing a series, just because I don't think I'd be very good at it, and which is another reason why I wasn't really intending on playing XCOM. But it got requested, so I'm obliging. But we'll see. I don't know how long that's going to last. We'll see. So movies. I went to see Pacific Rim on Friday, and it was quite fun. The moments on the screen where there were Gaiju, or is it Gaiju? Is that what they're called? I forget. The monsters. If the monsters were on screen, or the big Jaeger robot things were on screen, it was awesome. When Idris Elba, was it Idris or Idris? Idris Elba. Anyway, when he was on screen, it was good. But the lead, yeah, it was alright. None of it all felt a bit generic. Without giving too much away, it was good, but it probably could have been better. Like, the story could have been better, and or the acting, As I say, Idris Elba was great, and I'm not biased just because he's English and so am I. He is generally a good, genuinely even, a good actor. The other people I didn't really know, not heard of them before, but I found it a little bit predictable. And yeah, I think the storytelling was pretty poor. But as I say, if you just want to go for see a mech movie and see big robots fighting big monsters, then it was pretty cool. If not, a little bit Power Rangers. It was a bit Power Rangers. If you've ever seen an episode of Power Rangers, right at the end, they always have to team up and form one big Power Ranger robot to fight off one big monster that's been spawned from something else that the bad guys have done. I was never really into Power Rangers that much, but the few episodes I did see, that's usually what happened. So you're kind of like, well, isn't that what this is? Kind of. So yeah, it was good eye candy because it looked fantastic, and there were a few like amusing bits. In fact, the most amusing things and the best scenes for me anyway were the scenes that didn't involve the lead or Idris Elba at all, or the Jaegers, or most of the Jinyu. Is it Jinyu? Kaiju? The monsters. I forget what they're called. Kaiju. I don't know. Yeah, that's how important it was. Yeah, some of the stuff that the scientists were doing was actually more interesting and better acted. So yeah, that's what I saw at the cinema. I think next week we might go and see Now You See Me, which is about the magicians and the bank robbery, or illusionists, whatever you want to call them. Because that looks quite interesting, and it's got Woody Harrelson in, and Mark Ruffalo, amongst other people. Yeah, trailer looks good for that, so I'll probably go and see that next week. And on DVD, I have watched all 3 Back to the Future films in my Back to the Future box set. It's a bit dusty. Because I love these movies, and even though they're like almost 20 years old, they're still brilliant. I think it's 20 years since the first one. Because the first one came out in 1985, but they were actually making it, or filming it in 1983, which was kind of weird. And Michael J. Fox was on a TV show called Family Ties, and so he would work on Family Ties from like 9 AM to, I don't know, 5, and then he'd finish there, and then he'd go over to the studio where they were filming this, and he'd work on this until like, I don't know, 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and he'd get some sleep for a few hours, and then he'd go back and start filming Family Ties again. It was pretty crazy. You know, that's hard work and commitment, but awesome films. So yeah, I can't decide whether the first or the second one is my favourite. I like the second one because they go into the future and he gets the hoverboard and the flying car and all that kind of stuff. I guess I think it's probably just the way that they were written and how they intertwine, and how like some of the things that his father says he says, or when he goes into the future, you know, it's just picking up on little bits like that and the different characters, and make like a tree and get the hell out of here. Love that. And then while I was out shopping the other day, I picked up this, the Superman film collection. 5 films, so it's got the original 4 Superman films with Christopher Reeve, and the Superman Returns with that guy who's, I have no idea what his name is. Brandon Ruth. Has he done anything since then? I have no idea. But yeah, I've watched the first one so far, but I haven't watched the rest of them. But I'll be watching them this week. And the first film was about almost 2.5 hours long, and it's virtually all character progression. Virtually all of it. It shows you how he grows up, his relationship to his human parents, his relationship with his deceased father that he talks to as a hologram thing. I mean, yeah, sure, it's dated because it's 1978, but they're in the Daily Planet on typewriters, getting spelling mistakes wrong and having to retype it. But you get to see Clark Kent a lot more than you do in the most recent Superman film, where you virtually see nothing of Clark Kent. And you don't see, I get the impression with the most recent one, they've basically got Superman 1 and Superman 2, the original ones, and kind of squeezed them into one film and taken out all the character progression and like story, and it's like you don't. I didn't at the time. I didn't appreciate the fact that Christopher Reeve was essentially playing 2 characters, because he's playing Clark Kent, whose voice is slightly higher, and he slouches a little bit. I mean, even though he's like 6'4", he slouches a bit, and you know he's all nervous, and he's constantly pushing his glasses up, and like as a nervous tick almost, and he stutters a bit, and he's just not confident, and he's really kind of like shy, and you know, a bit of a nerd in a way. And then there's a scene where he's in Lois Lane's apartment, and he wants to tell Lois Lane that he's Superman, because he's just been Superman, he's just been on like a hot date with her. And as he flies off, and there's a knock at the door, because he's at the door as Clark Kent. Brilliant. And yeah, he stands there and he takes off his glasses, and he looks up and he straightens his back out and broadens his shoulders and puffs his chest out, and just looks at him, and his voice deepens, and he calls Lois. But she's so mesmerised as to what's just happened with her and Superman that she's completely oblivious. So he just puts his glasses back on, kind of becomes Clark again. And it's really good. That's like acting. That's acting. Congratulations on having acting in your film. Having your person that's playing Superman acting, which didn't really happen, unfortunately, in Man of Steel. It was because of, you're big and here's the suit. Off you go. Time to fly and beat people up. Still. So yeah, so that was Superman 1. I'm going to watch the rest of the Superman films this week. That's it for movies and for games. Yes, as I say, I will try and record some more Game Dev Tycoon. I'm thinking of doing some live streaming, perhaps, but I don't know. Maybe doing like a one-off playing of something, live streaming it, and then doing like recording it at the same time, and then putting like the VOD. Is that what they call them? Basically, just putting the live stream video up on the YouTube channel. So it could be that I stream for like an hour and then put an hour-long video up, perhaps. Although that would take forever to render. But we'll see. I haven't really decided, and it's just something that I'm toying with at the moment. But again, if you've seen a game that you'd quite like me to play or try out or whatever, then let me know, because yeah, I like chopping and changing and seeing what works and what doesn't. I have a feeling that maybe XCOM's not going to last a long time, just because I don't really know what I'm doing. It's not really the sort of game that I would normally play. But I'll stick it out and see, because I might start getting into it. Because I think most of what I've played through is like tutorial stuff, where it kind of holds your hand and tells you where to go and doesn't really give you much leeway to do whatever you want. So yes, enjoy the summer sunshine. Make sure you use sun cream and stuff, because I keep hearing horror stories of people getting horribly burnt. So be sensible. And I'm going to go and have some food and then probably fall asleep, because I am so tired and I've got to be back at work in the morning. So I shall see you next week. Probably. Yes, I will. That was not even a dramatic pause, it was just a pointless pause. Yes, I'll see you next week. Oh, I'm so tired. I'm just going to finish this. See, I'll just clear. Okay.